this computer. So, hey, everybody, Lisa Scott back with you. Welcome to my channel, Permission to Live in the End. It threw me off a little bit because I'm usually recording on my phone and I'm recording on my computer through Zoom because my phone doesn't want to allow me the ability to record more than a couple of minutes right now. So obviously I've overloaded the phone, but I can't be stopped, so I'm back. So it's Lisa Scott, Permission to Live in the End. Hit like, hit subscribe. When you do that, it helps other people who wouldn't otherwise see this video to be able to do so. So please share. I am doing part 2 of part 1, where I just created a video called The Awakening. And that was part 1, sharing my manifesting journey, and just here to do a part 2 with you, just real brief. So where I left off on that video was I was sharing some of the thought leaders and people that I had become exposed to over my journey after having left the church system, after understanding that I am the authoring power. This is a channel inspired by Neville Goddard, and that is a phrase that he would use quite often in his writings. And that brings me to mentioning Neville Goddard, because I said that I left off on talking about different thought leaders that I had been exposed to in my journey, where I said Joseph Murphy, I said Joseph Dispenza, Dr. John Demartini, and just so many, Abraham and Esther Hicks, just all kind of different thought leaders that I've been exposed to on my journey. So basically, as my heart would lead and guide me, to asking certain questions, I would go over here and be exposed to this one, go over here and be exposed to that one. For years, I was exposed to Abraham and Esther Hicks. Love that work. But ultimately, here's what happened. There was a day that I was riding in the car. My son was in the JROTC at his school, the ACIT, Atlantic County Institute of Technology, and we had driven, a distance to go drop him off at this competition. And on the way back from that competition, riding in the car with my husband. My husband was falling off to sleep, so I had some time to and with myself, and I began to just inwardly just really want to know, who is God? Who is God? Who or what is God? Was like this question that was resounding every part of my being on this particular day. I have no understanding of why. So anyway, I started becoming very overwhelmed with emotion as I'm driving. I started becoming, at that moment, very connected to my body. It was like now, even though I was walking around in this body all this time, I was understanding that I didn't have a relationship with my body. So that day, I just became very emotional, very tearful, but just filled with some level of understanding and knowing about things that I just, prior to that day, obviously did not know. And so when I don't know if it was when I was in the car or when I got home or at a light, I don't know, but I punched into Google, who or what is God? And I was taken to a Wayne Dyer PBS show. And I think the title was, I Am God. I think that's what the title was. And Wayne was talking about Neville Goddard. Okay, he was talking about Neville Goddard. No. I had heard Neville Goddard's name one other time before this, and because it was mentioned in such a fleeting way, I just didn't think about it. I think that Neville Goddard has also influenced, if I have this correct, and those who see this video, please let me know. I was reading years prior, I was a part of a mastermind called the Think and Grow Rich Mastermind. So obviously Napoleon Hill. I'm believing that Napoleon Hill was exposed to Neville Goddard, or his teachers were, or something regarding that. So I don't know who was born when and all of this in terms of Neville and Napoleon Hill and all of that. So I don't know that information. All I know is the gentleman who was running that mastermind, he mentioned Neville Goddard. And I just never forgot the name. And so years later, riding down the road, this whole experience starts happening with me. And I punch in who or what is God. Here comes Wayne Dyer, PBS show. He's talking about Neville. And from that point on, I went over to start learning about Neville Goddard, and I never left. Okay. So through all the journeying of thought leaders and teachers and all of this, Neville Goddard, when I started to be exposed to his information and his teachings, I understood everything that Neville was saying as a result of my own personal experiences over time up until that moment of being exposed to Neville. Because I had already started to experience conscious, manifesting. We're manifesting all the time, whether we know it or not. But I became consciously aware, so I'll tell you that too, on a particular day in my home, tired of banging my head against what I'll call the proverbial brick wall. And I was in the basement of my home, and I heard these words like it was someone in the room with me, but it was me inside of me. I heard the words that with the thoughts that have brought you to where you are right now, I am going to show you how to utilize your thoughts and get yourself out. That's what I heard. And from that moment on, that particular moment, here's what happened. In that particular moment, I became very consciously aware of my thoughts. And along with my conscious awareness of my thought, I also became aware of how the thought, in having a thought, the thought sends this emotional response through the body. And this relationship, this thought emotion relationship that is happening constantly all day, every day, is what is causing you to take the actions that you're taking or not take the actions that you're not taking. I realized that in that moment. And I became a scientist of myself in that moment and began to change my thoughts. But not only just change my thoughts, really understand, well, what do I really believe about this versus what I've been just believing because I thought I needed to believe it or thought I always believed it. Just really becoming consciously aware of my actual beliefs, my beliefs as an individual outside of anybody else. What did I actually believe? And as I began to process that information and those beliefs helped to change my thoughts, what also began to change was how I was feeling on the inside, because at the time I was going through migraine headaches, indigestion, not trusting myself, just all kinds of stuff at this particular stage. And what I noticed is that no sooner than I changed my, became acquainted with what my beliefs were or what I really wanted versus what I had been compromising and all of this. Next thing you know, no more migraine headache, no more not trusting myself, no more indigestion, no more of these things I was walking around with, believing that I was always going to be walking around with them. They were gone. And what I came to realize was that those physical manifestations inside of my body were a direct connection, relationship with my beliefs or whatever was going on inside of me that was actually, there was a resistance going on inside of my body that I didn't know anything about. And when I became one with myself, i.e., beliefs, thoughts, actions, all started to become married and become cohesive or coherent, whatever the terminology is, everything else just started to melt away. Woo! So anyway, I just wanted to share this part 2 of the awakening and my journey to manifesting, becoming a manifest coach, and helping other people. Specifically, I pay attention to and help people to pay attention to, because for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe I know, maybe, for some reason, we're being taught that it is only the positive vibes. It's only the high vibes. It's only this positive, positive, positive. Sprinkle fairy dust on everything and act like you don't have any problems. Act like you're not in pain. All of this. I don't know where this comes from, but it has been my understanding in every single client that I work with, coach, my own experiences, all of this, that unless you are addressing what is happening with you, what is going on with you. And I'm not talking about, some long drawn out process. And maybe that's part of what the problem is that people automatically believe that when you start talking about pain, emotional pain, that it's going to be some long drawn out, tedious process that it does not have to be. At least if you're working with me, it doesn't have to be. I don't know about anybody else. But what I have noticed is that no sooner than you turn around and face what is happening with you, especially as it relates to, well, let me back up. I have been working with professional women who are ready to answer the call to their soul calling career by learning how to stop worrying about the how. I don't know if I'm going to continue to just restrict myself to that. I think I'm expanding well past that, and whatever that looks like remains to be seen. But this is what the work that I have been doing. And what I have noticed is that when someone knows what their desired outcome is, or that they have a particular desired outcome, they are that much more willing to engage and pay attention to what the hindrances have been with regard to that, what their desire is. And therefore things seem to, at least 100% of the time so far with the clients that I've worked with, things are just like this. They go very, very quickly because we're processing the information. It's almost like, no, it is like, because the person knows that there's an ultimate goal and objective, and there's not just the tediousness of rehashing something or bringing something up for no reason, that their understanding of that allows them to engage, understand, uncover, bring up what the their messaging has been that has been a hindrance to them, and therefore we're able to move it right out the way and go right into the soul calling that they're ready to answer right now. So that's the work I've been doing. Like I said, I don't know what it's going to look like in the near future, because I'm just expanding, past, well, I'm not going to say past it, I'll say to include other things, and I don't know what that looks like right now. So, but I just wanted to mention it. But so I mention all that to say that whatever your hindrance, whatever is playing, it's playing in the background on a subconscious level. Well, I'm going to say conscious level, because so many know that something is playing around in the background. You know that there's a hindrance, because whatever it is that you desire, you would have it. You know that you would have it, but something is happening. So face it. Turn around, look, what is it? What am I believing right now that is keeping me from what I desire? What is it? Face it. But anyway, Thank you so much for stopping by. Like I said, please, I think I said it, but I need to say it now. Please subscribe, like, share with somebody you love. In doing that, you are helping someone who wouldn't otherwise see this video to see it. And I will see you guys on the next video. I look forward to your comments and your experiences and everything. Thank you very much. See you on the next video.